We're currently in remote Western Australia, where the desert meets the blue sea. It's proper, just barren, desolate desert. Join us this week as we explore more of this incredible land and go more remote than we've ever been before. How you going?
Oh, so good.
So peaceful out here this morning. So calm, there's not a breath of wind. The water's so glassy. And before we went to bed last night, we did some star photos because the stars were so vibrant last night and there's no light pollution out here. So the star, you can see the stars very well.
I was just saying it looks like a pink lake because the sky is reflecting on the water. Mitch and I have never been to Greece, but we keep saying how much this area just looks like what we think Greece is like. Where we are at the moment is a place called Shark Bay, a World Heritage listed area, partly due to its vast seagrass meadows. Believe it or not, a species of seagrass here called Posidonia australis, or ribbonweed, is actually the largest plant in the world. It is 180 kilometres long, spanning the size of 20,000 football fields, and it's believed to be 4,500 years old. The seagrass meadows of Shark Bay are the biggest and richest in the world and provide important habitat for a number of species, including green turtles and dugongs.
The water's so clear. I've seen a ray and a little shark just cruise by. Amy's on the road. Something I'm going to say. What do I say that I want to say something?
Yeah, you're like preempting it.
Yeah, about to say something. We've noticed, living in the van, we eat so much healthier because we don't have heaps of room to store food, so we only buy what we need. And we buy like snacks every now and then, but not heaps.
Yeah, usually when we're in someone else's house, like our family member's house, there's always treats and we are suckers for sweet treats.
Yeah, we
so
are.
If they're there, we won't stop, we can't stop eating them. But then when they're not around, it's like out of sight, out of mind. I don't even feel tempted. Sometimes I do crave a sweet though. That's why we have our dates and the occasional chocolate.
So we pulled into yet again another epic campsite on the water. It's just so nice down here. Fun fact, thousands of years ago, this whole area used to be super green and lush and covered in mangroves. As the climate out here got a bit cooler and drier and less tropical, a lot of the drier plants and species are just flourishing out here now. But yeah, there used to be mangroves everywhere. There's just one out there, which is, I don't know, I think that's wild. Toilet paper from people's poo. Nice. There's something quite special about being away from the rest of the busy world. Out here, it's much easier to slow down and live more in the present moment and not worry about the little things that don't really matter.
Cooking dinner with a view.
I know, how good is it?
Oh my gosh.
Yum.
Cheap, healthy, delicious.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit. had a really peaceful night last night at this camp. It just feels so deserty and remote. We're going to move on. We've spent a couple of nights here in Shark Bay. There's just a really special feeling to it out here, like just full desert mode. The most beautiful night sky I've ever seen. Beautiful sunsets and sunrises, and just so peaceful as well. Like just, there's no one out here. Pancake for brekkie.
Mads has whipped up a fine and dandy pancakes for us this morning.
Dandy, I like that.
Fine and dandy. What'd you put in it? Oats, egg, banana, coconut flour.
Splash of milk and some vanilla essence.
Beautiful. And they are delicious. We are at a spot now which is very far away from everything else in the rest of the country, in the northwest. It's a very special place. There's a really good wave here and there's lots of marine life. It's pretty much out in the desert. It's a really nice spot. It's really cool. The drive in yesterday was on a corrugated dirt road for about 65 k's and that was pretty bad. But it's a beautiful drive. The van handled it pretty well, which is good. Didn't rattle to pieces. I went for a walk up to the top of the cliff last night as the sun was setting, and there was just some wild goats up there. They're not native. I think they were introduced by Europeans a couple of hundred years ago, so now they're just roaming around everywhere. Ooh, there's a bit of action going on out there. You won't be able, probably can't see it on this lens, but there's fish jumping out of the water, there's birds diving. This is what we've been watching the whole time we've been here, just splashes on the water. Oh wow, they're going nuts now. How you going?
Oh, so good.
Bit of a steep climb.
Yeah, but so worth it. It's amazing.
For the view, it's very protected right beneath this rock ledge. But as soon as we get up to the top, I reckon it's going to be very windy. Ooh, wow. Windy?
Yeah.
It is, isn't it?
Woo!
So this is where I hiked to last night and made some goat friends. Just over there. I started walking towards them and scared them, and they started running towards the end of the cliff. So that gave me a bit of a fright. Pretty windy up here now.
View.
It's so deserty out here, hey?
Oh, it's desolate. So cool. It's so different to anything I've ever experienced.
It's proper just barren, desolate desert meeting the blue sea, which is beautiful. And this is the very start, or the very southern point of the Ningaloo Reef, which is cool. But I'm actually reading a book at the moment about the Batavia, which is a ship that wrecked off the Abrolhos Islands, which is an island group just off the coast of Geraldton. And we actually went and saw recovered parts of the ship at the Shipwreck Museum in Perth. That was on my birthday actually, we went to the Shipwreck Museum. But I'm reading a book about the Batavia, which is that ship, and a guy called Dirk Hartog, which Dirk Hartog Island is named after, another island just out off the coast here. He sailed up this coast before the Batavia came here, and he basically said, why would anyone want to live out here? It's so barren, He said it was very unwelcoming. In his journal, he wrote, "It looked, with no exaggeration, to be the most inhospitable coastline in the world. It was an interminable coastline of sheer cliff faces, dust storms, and vistas of fly-blown arid land that was clearly of no use to anyone." Gonna go for a fish off the point, hopefully try and get some squid. It's a gorgeous arvo down here. This place is just amazing, except for the flies. The flies are so bad. So I've been trying to drink my beer. This guy here is Rob. He's actually a guy we met in Agnes Water about 8 months ago. Funnily enough, we bumped into him again up here. We've actually been surprised how many times this has happened to us. It's pretty cool how you can meet someone and then bump into them again on the complete opposite side of the country.
Nothing yet, but the guy just over from us just got a squid, so hopefully that's a good omen. The guys are getting sick of it though.
Oh no! Oh damn!
Oh, Mitchy, don't get me excited. The water is so clear. You can just see the reef and all the fish down there from up here. It's just so cool. But none of them are biting. This is the toilet at this campsite. The most beautiful loo ever. We went for a ride in Rob's four-wheel drive truck down some tracks that we wouldn't be able to get to in the van. We went in search of either waves or a good spot to snorkel.
Oh, yeah. As we said yesterday, this is the start of the Ningaloo. It's like the most southern point of the Ningaloo Reef. Come down to a part of the reef that looks just gorgeous. It's so clear. The Ningaloo Reef is a World Heritage listed area, known for its pristine coral reefs and abundance of marine life, as well as being the epicenter for marine megafauna. The reef stretches more than 300 kilometres from Red Bluff to the Northwest Cape near Exmouth. However, I'm not going to go into too much detail now, as you'll be seeing a lot more of the reef in the coming episodes. Okay, Mads?
So keen.
It's a windy one this morning. There's no waves and it's blowing like 25 knots. It's just dust blowing everywhere. These are the mornings that make it a little bit harder living in a van and trying to cook brekkie and do everything. There's just dust covered. There's just dust over everything. Good morning.
Good morning. Having my cuppa in bed, reading my book. much needed.
Mm.
So, we've done something a bit crazy for us. We booked into a cabin for the night in the caravan park. It's very fancy, definitely not something we've done before, but we spent a few nights out in the desert. Lots of sun, wind, dust, flies, and we were pretty buggered by the end of it. It was the best few days out there, like we just had a ball. But we came back into town and we were just so tired, and we were like, let's book into a cabin, like why not? And yeah, we're just gonna chill here for the night. I'm so excited, like yeah, I'm very happy, very happy. It's a bit of a reset, and one night of comfort is enough, and then I'm sure we'll be ready to go back in the van tomorrow night. But yeah, living like kings and queens, that's for sure. Who's there?
It's me.
What was tricky about the day?
Everything just seemed hard, didn't it? This is one of those days, I reckon. I think if we had stayed at camp, it would have been better. But it was just like so windy, and we were just like, nah, stuff this, let's go. Just the driving, and then yeah, we're both just a bit down. We've been missing family a bit lately, and missing friends, and been a bit homesick. Like the last few days was awesome. We had so much fun. So had a fun surf yesterday, a fun surf the day before. We snorkeled yesterday. We went fishing last night. We just had an awesome time with some friends that we met there, and Rob, who we met in Queensland. Yeah, it was sick. And then like now back out to Carnarvon. It's just like, yeah, it's all caught up again. Yeah, but that's all part of it, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, this is nice. We haven't done this before. We just treated ourselves. I think sometimes we just need a night in a house, or just a little bit of time just to be comfortable, and then it acts as a reset for us.
I literally said the exact same thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I cried like 3 times today over just the most random things. But yeah, we're definitely feeling it at the moment. Been a bit off it today with the weather. And so today's Friday. On Tuesday we put up a community post saying we're gonna have a video up tomorrow, like woo sort of thing, because we were in the middle of uploading the video, and then the service just dropped out and we had no service to finish the upload. And then we're like, oh no, like we said that we're going to put up a video tomorrow and now we can't. And we were like, oh, what are we going to do? Because where we were, there was no service. So we ended up going for a drive, like out of camp, up the road for 10, 15 minutes, and it's like bumpy corrugation, to get them like the tiniest slither of service so we could put up another community post and say, sorry, there won't be a video. So now we're finally uploading it. Yeah. So it'll be up today. Woo!
You'll be seeing this well into the future. Well, actually, no, probably not. Probably 2 videos
Greetings from the
now.
future.
What?
What?